Hello, I'm Dean Anderson, and it's my honor to be able to work with you in the next couple months in the Walk the Talk of Change program. I'm actually the creator of the program, and I'll be your facilitator. And I'm here today to share with you a quick overview of the program, what you can expect, and what the purpose is, and what its main focus is going to be. The purpose and focus of Walk the Talk is to explore what is the foundation and source of great leadership. And from our perspective here at Being First, there really are four kind of central domains of leadership. The first is around strategy development. Clearly, a great leader has to have the ability to look out into the future, understand trends, understand the core competencies of their own business, and how they can win in the market, both in the short and long term. So the essence of that is creating vision and strategy for the business. The second major area is how you implement vision and strategy. And in today's world, with the dynamic market that we live in, implementation is no longer just project management. It's often leading change and often leading transformational change. In other words, change that's very significant to the business. So great leaders have to have great change leadership capability. The third aspect of great leadership is how you unleash the human potential in your organization. In other words, how do you build a culture and then have a leadership style that actually brings a positive impact on unleashing others' potential for higher and higher levels of performance. The fourth aspect of great leadership is how one unleashes their own maximum performance. In other words, self-leadership. In today's world, I have to be able to model and walk the talk of the core values of the business. I have to be able to, in my own presence, relate to the people that I lead in such a way that it engages them at a high quality and draws forth their highest contribution. So great leaders today are very introspective. They're very much focused on their own leader development and their own behavior change as leaders, and their own mindset shifting changes as well as leaders, so that they can actually have the awareness and the insight to be able to see strategically where things are going in their market. Because if they're locked into their old mindsets, they're going to miss new trends and new innovation possibilities that they could capture as a business. So this fourth area of great leadership is really all about self-leadership, including mindset shifts, behavior shifts, skill development, etc. Walk the Talk of Change is a very focused investigation of this fourth area, with also major component of focus on the third area of how you unleash the human potential in others. We work really in four different dimensions. The first is self, me as a leader, you as a leader. The exploration is, how do we show up? What is our style? What's our worldview? What's the basis of our leadership behavior? And what about that is working and not working? Because the overall context here of what we're going for in Walk the Talk is, how do we actually generate breakthroughs? Breakthroughs in ourselves, others in our organization. And we start with the self. So really initially, or not initially, I'd say essentially, this program is a personal change program. Personal change as me as a leader, you as a leader. So it's an investigation to increase our self-awareness, our self-understanding about what's underneath our leadership style. What is our leadership style all about? So you'll be taking some assessments that will help you get some data about that, and then we'll be sharing with you tools and techniques to engage in that personal change process. Walk the Talk is also very much about how we relate to others and how we communicate, because we don't lead in a vacuum. We're always relating to others. So we start then with an investigation of our relationships with our partners on the team. So what's the quality of our relationships? How can we improve our communication across team members so that we, when we're working together, can create higher levels of performance? So first we're working self-mastery, but then we're also looking at relationship mastery. Now our third area is looking at team mastery. So how do we build in our own team a quality of performance that puts us higher than we actually perform today? So how do we go through a learning and development process as a team? And then the fourth level, of course, is the organization. How do we lead the people and our organization in such a way that our leadership and the quality of culture that we build is actually a magnet for drawing out others' high performance so that we collectively can create breakthrough in the marketplace. Now we take an adult experiential learning focus here. And what that means is that we will go through lots of different experiences together, and then we will reflect on what we learned in those experiences. That's different than a traditional executive development program where I may be supposed to show up as the expert and then tell you about great leadership. I mean, certainly I can do that. It's been my focus for 30 years. I have a lot to say about it, but quite honestly, it's not a very effective leader development program. Because quite honestly, the starting point for us is this basic foundational understanding that you are already a highly competent leader. In other words, we're not showing up as a business who are supposed experts in leadership and change. We're not showing up trying to fix you because you're broken. No, this is a completely different approach. This is assuming you are already a high quality leader. Now let's step into this Olympic level where we're actually talking about leadership at the 1% of the top 1% of capability. And for us to all move in that direction, you don't need me to tell you stuff. Instead, what I'm going to do is to facilitate a process where we collectively can investigate and inquire about what is it that puts us in that 1% of 1%. Because for each of us, it's going to be different. We're all different people. We're going to have different things to change about ourselves, different breakthroughs in ourselves that are going to unleash that pinnacle of quality of performance. So the approach then is very much looking at and stalking what I would call this golden thread of optimal performance that runs through these dimensions of self-expression or self-leadership, self-performance, relationship and communication with others, team, and the organization. And that golden thread of the human dynamic is a deep understanding about what makes people tick, including ourselves, and what causes us to break down in our performance, what causes us to underachieve, what causes us to resist, get stuck at all those levels, and what enables breakthrough at all those levels. How do I unleash myself in a way that I perform at my highest level? And that starts with an understanding of the difference between what we call ego and being. When we operate from ego often, that fear, doubt, and anxiety gets in the way of our high performance. The foundation here is this basic understanding that if I want to be first, if I want to reach that top 1% of 1%, I've got to put my being first. In other words, my higher self. And that's an exploration to what we call flow state performances or the zone. And you've probably had those kinds of performances skiing or playing golf, tennis, maybe in a really meaningful conversation with a friend or a high quality team experience. Where everything comes together and your highest capability naturally comes out. Well, how do we generate that? Can we generate it? Can we set the conditions up in ourselves and in our relationship with others and our team and our culture where that is more likely to happen than not? Right? That's our exploration is the golden thread of high performance and how we tap into it at all levels of self, relationship, team, and organization. And that's the essence of Walk the Talk, to put us in a leadership place where we can generate, more often than not, breakthrough performance in ourselves or others in our organization. There you go. That's the overview of Walk the Talk. I very much look forward to exploring this with you, and I look forward to being with you in the next coming weeks and months. All right, all the best to you.